Merseyside derby doesn't wait for you to figure things out. This is a massive game. Everton's new stadium. Both teams need to win. Of course, Everton, outside chance of breaking into those Champions League places as well. Liverpool have to do what they can to stay in it, basically. This is the team I would go with against Everton. All of the bragging rights, of course, on the line. Intercity derby, etc. Who makes the 11 and why? So this is the team I would be going with. Here's the ball. Kick off. So I think, yeah, Allison, even though this was the game they were aiming for, I don't think he's going to be fit. I'm going to start by just plugging in because in terms of the shapes Liverpool played recently, 4-2-3-1, 4-2-2-2, there's different things they could do here and some ideas for me are better than others. But I'm going to start by just plugging in the players that I pick. And we'll build from there. So straight away, Van Dijk's captain, he's going to start. Kanate, there's not a lot of choice at centre back. It's going to be a back four. Now, it's between Gomez and Frimpong, of course, but Gomez has been ruled out. He's not fit. So Frimpong is going to play right back, unless you are going to play Calvin Ramsey. He should have had a chance earlier in the season, by the way, and he didn't get that chance. So he's not going to play. What I don't want to see is Szoboszlai playing at right back. I think that is a nonsense. Play your best players in their best positions. And on that, he's going to be in the team. Role to be decided because it could be there, number 10. It could be the right side, number 10 in that 4-2-2-2. Could be in the deeper double pivot. It depends. Left back, there's a debate. We'll come to that in a second. But Szoboszlai's going to be in the team. And a player that is going to be in the team for me, definitely. He's going to be in the team. Rio Ngamoa is going to be in the team. I think that's important. I think Rio Ngamoa, the performance, I thought he should have started against PSG. I thought when he came on against PSG, obviously he nearly scored. That would have been a fantastic goal, by the way. So I think bringing him in to this game, obviously, yeah, it's away at Everton. Yeah, he's 17. I get it. But do you know what? Play your best players. Reward players that are playing well, which he is. And there's only like 5 weeks left in the season. So give him a go. Do you know what? Outside chance, England World Cup. I don't see it, not for 1 minute, but outside chance. If he plays for these next 5 weeks and plays at the level he's been playing, if I'm picking the squad, I'm not saying he would make it, but around that 24 to 26, those last 3 picks, you've got to remember 26-man squad. Extra players, you might not be interested in England, that's fine if you're not. Mo Salah would play for me. His last Merseyside derby, I think, again, that's important. Liverpool have got to have a goal threat, of course, with no Ekitike, who has, of course, been ruled out for 9 months with injury. We're not going to be seeing him. Mo Salah has to play. I don't really see a debate. I don't see who else you would. So, just in terms of, let's start with that. These players are all going to be in my team. So, what we could do from here, we could, and again, this is a little bit square peggy. I think Salah would be good at this. We could play with front 2, and we could do that 4-2-2-2. Szoboszlai could play as the right 10. We could bring Wirtz in there. Maybe it's the left 10, 2 behind with a left back. Of course, we could do that. And then out of possession, it could be, well, it could be that Ngamoa gets in those spaces, Salah gets in those spaces, and these two fill there, or vice versa. However you think that's going to work. However, I think I'm probably more inclined. That is a thought in my head as to whether we could do something with these two as a front 2, but playing as wingers, and in moments maybe, like I said, the 2 number 10 stepping in, or maybe just Szoboszlai stepping in and creating a front 3. It's an idea, but I think Salah would be good in the front 2. I think that should have happened a lot more this season as the right striker, because you've got Isak and Ekitike who kind of want to play the left central striker role. Wirtz likes the left-hand side as well. I think it would have been really good to see Mo Salah as the right striker in a front 2 this season, getting him closer to goal. But for now, I'm thinking we'll pop them back there. The next point, I'm going to decide is the left back. So we've got 2 good options there. I'm happy with either of them, I like what Robertson was building with Ngamoa last week against Fulham. I like that. The problem is the short-termism, albeit Liverpool probably do have to make short-term decisions to make sure they get Champions League next year. But we're looking ahead to next season. You're going to play Kirkes because you want to see that relationship develop. I will say I thought Kirkes played well against PSG. I actually think he's been good since, I can't timestamp it exactly, but roughly December. I think it took him a good 4 months. And I think for the first 4 months of the season, he should have played a lot more than he did. But he's at a level now where I'm really happy with Milos Kirkes. Coin toss. I could go either way on that. Same as I said against PSG. No need to rotate necessarily for rest. Liverpool are only in the Premier League now. They've had 5 days to rest, Tuesday to Sunday. I'll edge it with Kirkes. I'm edging that with Kirkes, mind. You know, if you really want Robertson to be in, that's fine. Now, as I see it next, I think Florian Wirtz, I want to see more from him. But I think he plays this game as the number 10. If he doesn't, then Szoboszlai probably plays as that number 10. So we're thinking something along these lines. By the way, McAllister, I'm leaving him out. I'm just doing that. I've not been impressed with him this season. He's not in my consideration. Here's what I'm considering right now. We could, let's just move him off a second. We could do that, which I'm open to. I like the idea. I thought this worked well against Fulham with Jones and Szoboszlai in the double pivot. I think both got good energy. Do they tackle enough? Probably not. Liverpool do need a holding player that's going to break up play. Getting the ball off the back four, going into these areas here, getting on the ball. Splitting as well. Maybe Van Dijk splits. Maybe that allows the fullbacks to get further forward. Fullbacks getting forward allows these players to come inside closer to goal. You're missing that player here though to be doing that, but that's a separate issue we'll cover another time. But I think in terms of progressing the ball out from the back, Curtis Jones, I mentioned this on a previous video, for me is Liverpool's best ball progressor in midfield, getting the ball into Florian Wirtz there. So passing forward, getting it into Wirtz's feet. Underrated at that. So that's probably what I'm looking at for the double pivot, but I think you could, in theory, with a derby. I've not been that impressed with Wirtz in the last few games. I see he's a good player, I can see he's talented, but I want to see more. In terms of end product, not scored since January, I think it is. You could even go with that and go with a little bit more steel, a little bit more running power in terms of that midfield. I think I'm leaning towards a 4-2-3-1 as it stands right now, to be honest. The reason for that is because of Engamoa. I think Salah would be as effective in a front two on the right hand side, even though he's not done it much. I just think he would be. But Engamoa, I want to see him play. I want to see him play in his best position. So for me, he plays on that left-hand side. But all those faults are allowed. Gravenberch, I thought against PSG. Driving with the ball forward, he's fantastic. But what he doesn't do, he's not the best progressive passer at getting the ball in there. Okay? And that's important. I'd rather someone that can pass the ball in there than someone that can carry the ball in there. He's brilliant at carrying the ball, and we saw it in that 25 minutes in the second half against PSG. He's really good at carrying the ball forward. But I prefer Curtis Jones, who is not as good at carrying. He's more skillful than Gravenberch, probably. But Gravenberch has got good feet, by the way. But he's a better carrier of the ball than Jones, in my opinion. But Jones being a better progressive passer, scouser as well, that's important in a Merseyside derby. Starts this game for me. That little bit of fight I think has been missing in midfield. I'm not saying he's the most fighty player in the world. I know that's not a word, but you take my point. But you look at the red card he got away at Everton last season. I just think show a bit, you know, and that's something that he's at least got on his side. So for me, I think all things considered, Szoboszlai's definitely going to play. It's just there or there. Or as I said, if you go with the 4-2-2-2, I'm going with that. I'm trusting Florian Wirtz to show something. Now, I like these two play well together. That's important. And when he ventures over here, these two play well together. We've not seen it between these two yet, but we know that he did it well with Robertson. Florian Wirtz is my number 10. Got to show it though. Got to show it soon. Now, in terms of striker, this is where it's not ideal, of course. No Hugo Ekitike. So, we're down to Isak or Gakpo. I thought Gakpo done okay against PSG centrally. I think when he's played centrally recently, he's probably showed a bit more than he has on the left. If he's fit enough, I'd probably go Isak. I'm conscious he can't do 90 minutes. It's not ideal. This is why the option in my head of potentially just going with, because I don't think Isak necessarily warrants a start, but going with something a little bit more like this kind of made a bit more sense to me in some aspects, because I'm not sure Isak is actually ready to start. I think this is getting Basically, the decision you've got is Gravenberch playing here, getting the extra midfielder in away to Everton, versus bringing Isak in as a striker. That's kind of your decision. And for me, I decided that because of Rio Engamoa, I wouldn't want him to have to play in a front two, and the complication of defensively. Who does that? Is it Engamoa that's doing that, or is it Florian Wirtz that's they're doing that? We want to see Engamoa in these areas here on the ball. Now there is something that could happen with Wirtz going in these areas when he goes there. Something could develop. I think it needs work on the training ground, and for that reason, Rio Engamoa has to start. So we're going with a 4-2-3-1. We're playing him on the left, which means, of course, Gravenberch misses out. Szoboszlai plays in that double pivot with Jones, which I think worked really well the other day. And Isak gets his start ahead of Gakpo for me. Now, he just gives... I wasn't that impressed with him against PSG, I'm going to be honest. It's more a reputational pick, if I'm being brutally honest. I know how good he was at Newcastle, and getting that player out of him comes with minutes. Given the lack of option there, that is what I would do. So there's my team. Let me know what your team would be and why. I'm interested to know. So let me know in the comments. The last video did really well for the size of my channel. Sort of 700 plus views at the moment, which is really good. Lots of comments in there, lots of thoughts. So if you're not subscribing, make sure you do click the subscribe button if you've made it this far and if you enjoy the content. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks very much.